Iyabo Ojo. And today, hey, I'm going to be bringing on this show my spiritual husband. We have been married. Oh my God. We've been married for the past 30, 40 years. In our dreams, so you understand. But he is my brother. He's my friend. He's my paddy. He is a multiple award winning actor, comedian, TV and radio presenter, writer. Oh my God. And he's a baker to join this list. Hey, my imaginary husband.
My love, my darling, my sweetheart.
I know.
Ìyàwó mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Polo is watching. Oh.
Polo, you have not brought bride price. And me, I don't collect Idobale. The only Idobale I like is dollar that is lying down. So send it, I make.
Oh my God. So how have you been able to stay relevant all these years?
Well, like I always tell people, it's a hunger-inspired project. You know, the fear of hunger is the beginning of wisdom. So you have to keep reinventing yourself. You have to keep thinking out of the box. But all the thinking, all the reinvention and all that, if God is not behind you, is a lie. But you see, what I try to do is I try to keep ahead of myself. I try to look at trends, see what is happening, and take it a notch higher. I remember back in the days when we all started having our comedy shows. I started Laugh Matters on TV, definitely. Then we started, I now did Laugh Matters concert. We had one at, the first one was at Excellence Hotel. We moved to Sheraton. I did the first open air concert, comedy concert at Lagbaja. Then I asked myself one day that, see, everybody is doing concert. What can you do that people will remember you for? And I decided that, you know what? Why don't we do a tour? Let's build let's move around. Let's build a sector of the industry that needs growth. Because then everybody that comes on stage will shout area for worry. It was very hard for people to come and do A for Agbero, to come and do, you know. So I decided, let's start this tour. We started in Ibadan. From Ibadan, we moved to Oshogbo. From Oshogbo, we moved to Ilori, Akure. And today we are the longest running comedy tour in Nigeria. And that's what I do. I try to do something different. When I started to, I thought, okay, there's no magazine. I started Laugh Matters magazine.
Yes.
Then
that was really very funny.
When I saw that comedy, thank you. When I saw that comedy might just not be enough to take care of my bills and all that, I decided, well, why don't I start thinking of doing serious MC? So what I started doing was I started watching people. I became disciples of people, proteges of people who didn't even know I was studying them. I was studying Dio Benjamin's Lani, who in my estimation is the best MC to have come out of Nigeria. I was studying Ali Baba. I was studying one Dr. Erin Zeku. They were the ones doing all the political stuff in those days, you know. I was studying them, Patrick Doyle. I was watching their styles. I was watching what they were not doing and seeing what I can do differently. And so if, for me, I believe that if you want to grow, if you want to stay long, don't do anything the way people are doing it. Put something different and be unique and pray for God to help you.
Yes. And I always tell people too that for you to achieve in life, you always have to admit that you're a learner, because you have to keep learning from people.
Yes. And one thing I have to add that you must never forget is never, ever stop building bridges. People are very important in your life. And be nice to people. Don't be arrogant to people. Because that guy you are arrogant to might be the one that will open the next door for you.
True.
My mother will always say that humility or like Yoruba people call it, umbility,
Umbility.
has never killed anybody, you know.
Never. It has never.
So you just have to hold people so that people can hold you.
Can hold you. True. Now, when I was introducing you,
Mm-hmm.
you're an actor, a comedian,
I'm a hustler.
a TV, radio presenter, a writer, and many more. But this particular one that you dabble into, a bread maker. What informed that? Because I remember the first day you sent me a message. I said,
I'm
I'm
doing bread.
not a baker. I said, oh my God.
And you are our model that we are not paying. You
But,
know,
I mean, how? What informed that?
during COVID,
Yeah.
you know.
And his bread is so delicious.
Thank you, darling.
Honestly,
I have a problem in life.
Yeah.
See, the worst thing, and it was from growing up. At a point in my family, realized that there's no need to beat him. Cooking do. They will now say, "Lord Joko, go and sit down in that corner.
Yeah.
If you move, I'll not start crying. Please beat me, beat me." I hate to sit down in one place. I believe that if I sit down in a place, I might just go mad. You know, let me to drink from my golden cup, so that I no go be like say, golden water is nice. So during COVID, I was going crazy.
Yeah.
And coupled with the fact that I had collected money from banks, Laugh Matters was a few. Okay, I have this sponsor who doesn't pay until after the tour. So what I do is I go to banks, not banks, I have to finance houses and collect loans to do the shows. At the end of the show, I collect my money from my sponsor and pay back and collect my profits. So I started planning the first one. In fact, we're 2 weeks to the show, about 7 days to the show, when we had to cancel. I'd paid. In fact, there are 3 artists in Nigeria. You know yourself that still owe me money till tomorrow. You know, but I still had some money left with me. So every evening, because I was bored, you were on the program. I was doing gisting with the GCON. We'll bring people on, we talk, we'll play, we'll do giveaway. As I was doing giveaway one day, I saw something that Shehu Kuti posted. He said, all these people doing giveaway. I hope you won't end up needing giveaway. and it was the truth. I had no source of income. I was giving out money. So I started asking myself, what do I do? What do I do? I have this property in Ikorodu that has been lying down there for nothing, doing nothing. In fact, thieves went there, removed all the windows, removed wires and all that. So we were renovating. And I kept asking myself, what can we do here? I went to see one of my friends, former deputy governorship aspirant in Ondo. And we were talking about, he was talking about his bakery, how he was diversifying into a lounge. And I said, bakery, come. How much is it to start bakery self? He said, bakery Odele, if you have an oven, you have this, you have that. So it sparked something in me. I'm a fool for Google and YouTube.
Me too.
So I started reading about it. And the more I read about it, the more he started drawing me in. And once I'm interested in something, I'm finished. I started going. We applied to NAFDAC. We did this, we did that, we did that. Luckily, we had a property. We started. The first day we launched, my oven exploded. I had to, at that point, I was broke. I had to ask people, a friend of mine who works in Abuja, who works with the Minister for Interior. He knows him, so I don't want to cast him, so that people will start asking for money. I called him and said, see, I'm in trouble. Oh. I need to buy oven. Wow. He said, okay, you know what? I will give you so-so. I will borrow you so-so. Return to me when you're ready. He has not collected the money till tomorrow. I went to Ali Baba's wife and said, you can give me so I can go and loan. Yes, so I called Ali Baba's wife. See, Iyabo, that's what I call her. I need money. Oh. If you don't give me money, I will kill myself. She gave me a loan too. We started work. Starting was the easiest part.
I understand. Continuity.
But thankfully, he's still with us today. And that's why I always tell people when you're bored, when they say people are depressed and all that, during that depression time, look for something
That you can start.
that you can start so that you will thank that depression for coming.
Yeah.
And
Boredom got me TikTok. And I became
and
a
now
brand influencer.
no, you're not a brand influencer, you're a queen of TikTok in
Queen of
Africa.
TikTok. Oh my god, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. So guys, when you're bored, you've heard, make sure you sit down and think of what can I do.
Don't think
What
of how
is
to
it?
kill yourself.
Yes. What do I have? What can I use to get what I want? So that's one. So what was the journey? What was the journey for you? Was it a smooth road all through? Or did it start rough all through? Or I mean, I know it's smooth now, so was it rough and then later
Let
smooth,
me
or was it in
sing.
between?
Let me sing my favorite song when I think of those days.
Okay.
You know, easy. Oh. You know, I remember. Okay, growing up was not terrible for me. You know, every comedian will tell you, when we did grow up, I suffer. I can't lie, I didn't suffer. I
You had
luckily
milk and honey.
I was garried and a bad, you know. I grew up luckily. My parents broke up when I was very young. So my mom and I grew up with my grandmother.
Okay.
We grew up in Surulere, Ogulana Drive, Akerele. In fact,
And you still little boy.
we were middle class.
Class. Okay.
I went to some of the best schools in Nigeria. I went to Government College Erikmo. I went to the International School Ibadan. So I didn't suffer, but I had uncles who studied abroad, uncles and aunties who studied abroad. So whenever they come back home, they relocate to Nigeria. They will come and say, "Mbomo Ijeju, Mbomo Ije." They will carry me. When I almost killed them, they will return me. When another one comes, "Mbomo Ijeju, you are spoiling this boy." Yeah, I was hyper. I thank God my children are not as hyper as I am. I always tell my children that, see, guy, okay, when they were growing up and they want to start, I say, guy, it's better you tell me the truth.
Yeah.
There's no lie you want to lie that
Yeah.
I've not lied.
Yeah.
Just tell me the truth. So I think that helps them. So I had that middle class upbringing, and that was problematic for me. When I graduated, it was automatic. It was already in my mind that immediately I finish, I'll work with Pacific Pacific Savings and Loans or Pacific Merchant Bank,
You already
because
knew that there was
the
gonna be a connection.
The Adelekes and my family are very close. In fact, I was MC at Davido's first birthday.
Oh, really?
You know, but when I say MC, I'm just funkifying it to. I was the clown. Hello, children. Hello, uncle. If you're happy, you know, clap your hands. Pa, pa, pa. So, but it's nice. It's nice to say.
Did he run away from you? You know,
I don't even remember. But David always embarrasses me now because when he sees me, he doesn't greet me like a guy, like his friend. He'll be looking at me like one old man.
Old.
Meanwhile, we are young.
You're old now. You're young in the spirit.
So when I graduated, I went to Pacific Merchant Bank to see Uncle Deji. That's David's popsy. He told me to come back, do this. But luckily or luckily for me, when he told me to come back, my uncle said, "You can't be at home. Come and start working for me." So I started working for my uncle Sparklight Engineering. I was doing corporate affairs. I was doing admin and all that and all that. I was doing procurement because I like to move. I was able to buy cement. I'll go to this place. Maybe others were stealing his money and he trusted me. After a while, I kept asking him for money. Bank was out of my mind. Now we started doing projects with Pacific Savings and Loans. We built Alade shopping mall together. So I was interfacing and all that. But after a while, I kept asking my uncle for salary increase. He said, "You're not a professional. I can't increase me. So what told you? Oh, I'm an engineer. If I can't pay you more than I pay my engineers. So you are not a professional." So I did NIPR exams. He was still telling me you're not a professional. So one day then during that process, he now told me something. He said, "See, you're always complaining you don't have money, you don't have money. When you were growing up, you are the one organizing all the parties at home.
Yeah.
Why don't you start something? So whilst I was still working with him, weekends I started children party entertainment. I'll paint my face.
Yeah.
I would get boys. We had costume
Characters
characters.
like
Spider-Man.
that.
Spider-Man. So we'll go around and all that and all that. And I was having fun.
Yeah.
Then, unfortunately, I discovered comedy because whilst I was on campus, I anchored a lot of events. I was always telling jokes. Unfortunately for me, I discovered comedy. Now, that became problematic. My uncles, my aunts, because I'm a community project, didn't want me to do comedy.
Yeah.
In fact, they had one January 1st meeting on my head that with all the, it was my wife that was in trouble. With all the schools we sent him to, he now says he wants to be Baba Salah. God forbid. And you are the one putting him under pressure. At all. You are the one putting him under pressure. You are the one putting him under pressure. My wife came back and said, please, but me, I have a problem. If you tell me not to do something, that's when I want to do it. So I told myself I was going to succeed. My wife is the daughter of a prince. She never had pomo before she married me. I told her, Madam, we'll cook pomo. We'll cook pomo. We'll cook pomo. We'll cook concussion. I thought I always say cook pomo, cook concussion. There were days that fuel would finish in the car. I couldn't go to my uncles to ask for money because they always told me.
Because they had told you don't do it and you went to.
And they always wanted me to fail, come back, then they would get a job for me.
Yeah.
So I told myself, nada. The first house I rented on Akomojo Road, hey, it was a 1-2 bedroom flat upstairs. When it rains, it's better not to have a bath in the bathroom. Just hold your sponge and soap and bath in the sitting room. You know, it was tough, but I told myself I will never go back. I will never ever stop this. That if God has said this is, then I kept telling God, if this is what you want me to do, don't disappoint me. But if this is not what you want me to do, disappoint me big time, so that I'll go and beg. There was a day I went to my uncle's house and his wife called me outside, packed small gari for me, packed beans, packed rice, give me clothes to give my wife, give me clothes to give my children. Give me, And that day, I told myself I'll succeed because of this situation. Those were the things that pushed me in the early days. Then luckily, and I think God answered my prayer. How did I start comedy full time? I met Ali Baba, and he said, if a friend who knew me during service saw me and said, what do you do? I said, I have a children party. Come and play music for us now. I was also DJing. So I went to DJ.
You were once a DJ.
I was DJing too.
All around that.
So I went to DJ for them at what's the name of this bank again? I've forgotten. But they were close to law school. Either Metropolitan Bank or something like that. So Ali Baba was the MC they called to tell jokes and all that. So my friend said, this is our own Ali Baba. That's our own Ali Baba. When were you like? I didn't know. I said, I'll tell a couple of jokes now. So I took them. I told a couple of jokes. He said, man, you're not bad though. What do you do? I told him, I couldn't tell him I was doing children party. I told him, I'm in the construction space.
You were packaging yourself.
I was packaging myself. I'm in the construction space. I work with Sparklight Engineering. We do this. And I said, but you should join us. So I said, God forbid. I didn't know that you don't push it forward.
You don't push it forward.
I was supposed to push it back. By pushing forward, I came to meet it in front. A few weeks after, TA, God bless his soul. I auditioned TA for Theatre 15 when I was graduating in Unilag. But when I wanted to start comedy, he was the only person I knew in the space. So I went to him and told him, I want to do this. So I said, you are my organ now. Yeah. So when he's having shows, we go and paste posters. When he's doing anything, I go to his office, sit down, assist and say, but I've come to learn. So he gave me one gig for Nigerian breweries in the East. So when I finished, the MD of Nigeria Breweries looked at me and said, "Man, you're good. Where have you been? This one, that one, that one, that one." He called the guy at Town Criers
Yeah.
and said, "Let's see what we can do with him." So I started going to Town Criers. I'll go there, nothing. I'll go there, nothing. But I kept going. Mo fẹ́ tẹ, like Yoruba people say, mo fẹ́ tẹ ọmọ adìyẹ pa síbẹ̀. I nearly mash chicken picking
Permanently
dead for the place. So one day the guy just called me out of the place and said, "Where are you? We have been looking for you. We're having this thing for Star. Let's see if you can do it." It was Star Trek, the year that Casey Fresh won.
Yeah.
And we did it in four. They gave me 4 cities to do. I went, did the 4 cities. So the last one, I went to meet the MD of Nigeria and said, "Thank you very much, sir, that I appreciate your opportunity." He said, "No, I'll see you at the next show." I said, "No, that they gave me only for." I said, "Why? You are doing everything."
Ooh.
That's how I
That's
became Shashai Bobo, came into everybody's home. But I knew that Shashai Bobo wouldn't be forever. What do I do after this? So I kind of stepped back from the children party entertainment and started working on comedy. Started.
Yeah.
There was a time in that period, and that's how I know you know Shehu Lokitui.
Of course.
That's how Shehu and I became friends.
That's my paddy.
Shehu and Kyle Defayemi, God rest his soul, came to interview me in Alade Market. My office was this size, from this gold to that side.
Wow.
That was my big office, big man. Up to this place. They came to interview me, and from there
that's Born Awards.
Born Awards. It was in Fame then. Kyle Defayemi, Chicago, God rest his soul, was in City People. And from there, Shehu and I became very close. It got to a point that I was doing comedy, there was no money, I was just doing shows that I couldn't pay house rent. So my children and wife had to move to my in-laws, and I moved in with Shehu. I stayed with Shehu for close to almost a year.
Shehu is such a nice guy.
You know, a lot of people.
He's just behind. A lot of people don't know him.
Yeah, so he's behind the scene.
He's behind the scene.
A lot of people love the story.
But they don't know the story.
They like the glory.
The glory.
But they don't know the story. A lot of people say, "Well, what has it done? Where is it coming from?" If you know what people have gone through, there were trying days, and I was stubborn. I decided, one, I won't go and get a regular job.
Yeah.
Two, I won't leave this thing. Because my philosophy in life is, if you keep hitting your head against the wall, even the wall will say, "Well, make a break, make this madman not come kill himself here." You know. So I kept going, and God gave me a breakthrough. I believe that all you need to do is keep going.
Yeah.
I
You
keep
have to believe in yourself.
Yes, I keep telling people that there is nothing called thoughts of the apostles. It's acts of the apostles. You have to do something.
Yeah. You have to do something. Guys, are you hearing that? You have to do something. So never give up. That's just what your story tells.
You can give up, oh. Me, I don't advise anybody again. Give up, you won't achieve your dreams. But if you never want to stop achieving your dreams, never give up.
So you've done almost everything pertaining entertainment, pertaining entrepreneurship. So what about politics? Are you going to go into politics?
Every man is a political animal. How do I say this? I'm interested,
Okay.
but I don't want to go into politics and not have something to fall back on.
Okay.
I don't want to be tied in politics. If I go and try and it doesn't work, I know I still have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
But if I go and try and somebody does something and I don't like it, I can resign and go back to what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to build. Although I'm getting old, but I believe that if I don't have something
You're not old now. Our president is still a young boy.
He's a young, he's a city boy.
So you can as well, you know.
So I have plans because I believe that everybody has something to offer the country. I might not be president, I might not be vice president, but I believe that I should be able to do something to make my society, my immediate environment better.
Yeah. I mean, someone once asked me that I should go. I think Messi.
You should.
Said I should go into politics, but I feel like I am too blunt. to be a politician.
And where is it written in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or anywhere in the world that blunt people cannot be in politics?
Because it's a dirty game. Politics in Nigeria is very dirty.
Politics is what you want it to be.
No,
it's not dirty.
We see all the news about unknown gunmen shooting themselves.
Unknown men.
Unknown men. I don't want to go through that.
No, but you see, what I always say is, evil thrives when good people do nothing. Okay. If you have something to offer, go out there. If politics is dirty, get dirty with them and clean it. Okay. You know, it is wrong for us to continuously stay back and say these people are not doing it well. They are not doing it well. We have to join them and make them do it well.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, right, Honorable.
Nibo. Nibo. So, what is next for you now?
What is next?
Because I know you're not giving up anytime soon.
You know, I keep asking myself that question. What is next for me? Sometimes I get scared because I know that you're only as good as your last gig. Yeah. When I finish an event, I look for people's reaction and I say, "Oh, well done, well done." But last week something happened to me. There's a wedding I was supposed to do. They had paid me, and the father of the bride called me and said, "Hey, my daughter said she wants somebody younger, that you won't be able to be body and all that." And I've seen it. I asked him, "Come, has your daughter seen me at a wedding?" Said no, that they said they want somebody younger.
They want Jay-Z.
But you see, for me, I know that is something that's going to happen. So what is the next level for me? I've been thinking about that, and I won't stop entrepreneurship. Okay. I want to become a media owner. Okay. You know, just this week I did interviews for a couple of people to fill some media space. Now, media is even easier than it was back in these days because it's digital media. Yeah. But I'm not very versed in that. I need young people who will shock me. And that's what we're doing next. We have Gisting with the GCON that is back on all social media channels. We're starting a mini series on YouTube where we're going to start shooting that very soon. We're creating more content to put online. You know, a lot of people look at content providers, and I had fallen in that rubbish mindset before. When you see all these boys who do skits and they buy cars, they'll be saying, Yahoo, Yahoo.
No, there's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money in content production.
Yeah, because number one, they put it up on YouTube.
That is it. It's monetized.
Some of them have a good Facebook. Facebook even pays more than YouTube. So if you put it up on your YouTube, you have your verified Facebook account, you're going to make money. And brands also come to them. They become brand
ambassadors. See, my small YouTube account that we only put Laugh Matters on. Yes. I know how much I make every month. Yes. They'll just call me in my bank. All that time that Buharinomics was operating, that you can't put dollar in one account and another. They come and some money has come. Should we convert it to Naira and put? I said, you convert my money to Naira, I kill you.
Leave it in dollar.
Leave it in dollar. I will. So, you know, I thank God for that. It opened my eyes. But what do I hope to do? I want to continuously be a guide to young people in the industry. I want to continuously have platforms that will help young people grow. You know, when I see so many young comedians of the Southwest extraction, I'm very happy now. Anytime I see Remote, I see Babalaria, I see Kenny Black, I'm excited because at one point or the other, they all came through the Laugh Matters platform. Babalaria told me that the very first time he went on stage was and got paid was at Laugh Matters. I never even knew that Damola had been on Laugh Matters. He told me that I've been on Laugh Matters before, you know, Shogbo, you know. So I want God. I pray that God will give me the strength to continually be a platform for young people to rise and to give me the wherewithal to do it, because it's not easy.
It's not easy.
All these we are doing shows
You
in
want to do,
Oshogbo, we are doing
yeah, it is not
is money,
easy.
it's pepper.
And that's where I get to. You are loved all over, all over the world, not just in Nigeria, because we have a lot of we have Nigerians all over the world. I don't think there's any country
No,
in
any
this world
country in the world
that there's
that
no
you
Muslim.
get to, there is no Nigerian. Remove your shoe,
And
put them under your armpit,
And-
and run, Jackpot.
So do you have any dreams taking Laugh Matters?
Oh yes, that's part of that one is even a foregone conclusion. That's why I didn't put it as part of our dreams. We next year we'll do Canada, we'll do the US, we do about 3 cities in the US, and we do the UK. Next year we might reduce the number of states we do in Nigeria so that we can accommodate that.
Because I'm sure they would really love to want to see you abroad there. Okay, guys. So now we've come to the second segment.
Let me enjoy my golden water.
Oh yeah, no.
It's not every day I get to drink free water, golden water.
Nothing is even free in Nigeria.
Because
at the rate that we are now, it's only God that can help us. So.
I told somebody asked for me to do one free show. I said, you know the reason why they are fighting in Freetown? He said, why? Because nothing is free, and some people want it to be free. So they are fighting themselves. Nothing is free.
Nothing is free. Nothing is free. So there's this thing we do. We call it the switch, whereby, anyway, you're a veteran, a professional. You're my senior colleague in this. So you become the host right now.
Gay.
And then you just get to ask me one question. One question.
So I'm not Iyabo Ojo, I'm me.
You're you, yeah.
Okay. And the program is
okay.
Is
Gold Room with Iyabo.
Gold Room with Iyabo Ojo.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, good people, welcome. My name is Gbenga Adeyinka the first. They call me the GCON, the Grand Comedian of Nigeria, and is Gold Room with Iyabo Ojo. I'm your presenter.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Iyabo, how are you?
I'm fine.
That's not the question.
Okay.
How is it going?
Everything is fine.
That's not the question.
Okay.
Iyabo Ojo, why do you like Wahala so much? I'm sure even you can't answer that.
Even me, I'm confused. I'm confused. Oh my
I remember one day, I kept calling you. I saw you online. I kept calling you. You didn't pick. I knew why you were not picking. I kept calling you. You didn't pick. And I said, Iyabo, stop that rubbish you are doing now.
I remember. Anytime I see your call, I'll be like, oh my God. No,
but I understand. Let me tell you why I understand. And I will answer for you. See, it's not easy if you have love and the fear of God to see people oppressed.
Yeah.
It's not easy to have people say wrong things about you. For some of us, when they say it, I just smile and move on.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite songs is "Ngotoba when anybody lole fenu also." But you see, it gets to a point where people say so much about you that you have to react. Sometimes I wish I had your energy,
my energy
to react. And but today, calm down. Calm down.
Okay, what's that? I'll try. I'll calm down. I'm calming down.
Try to be coming down. So having tried to answer for you, answer the question.
This is a setup.
Answer the question.
Okay, so it depends on the kind of wahala that you're talking about. I'm a very gentle girl by nature. Gay. I have a lot of empathy for people. I do. I wish I was a billionaire. And I wish we lived in a country where the laws are right and our system actually is working. I would have been able to do more for a lot of people. But because for me, I don't like it when someone gets cheated. I don't like it. Trust me, I try to control myself a lot because honestly, if I go by the way I people, slide into my is this slide or slid? I always get
Slide
slide into my DMs
the
and ask me, for favors and bring their problems to me. If I have to keep up with that, I probably will be dead right now or probably broke right now.
or asking for what the show say
I mean,
giveaway.
I would be the one asking for giveaway. So, but I'm just that person that is just passionate about people, about our life. And I think it comes from my motherly instinct because I've been a mother way too early. I became a mother at a very young age. I had to be a mom for my mom. And I had to be a mom for my dad. I had to because of my upbringing and where I was coming from. And I was very passionate about them. I didn't understand why my dad was in the situation that he was. He was from a very wealthy home, a very rich home. And then having to battle and deal with drug, addiction. I didn't get it. I had to be there for him. There were times when he would, overdose, and everywhere I had to pick up the things, do everything. I was very young. So I had to take care of him, make sure, have you had your bath? Have you eaten? Have you done? Like, I used to talk to my dad like I was
His father.
or I was his elder sister or mother. And when I also knew my mom, because I didn't know my mom until I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I wasn't yet 8. I was 7 going to 8. And when I eventually had that opportunity to stay with her, I found out that she had mental health issues. And at that time, I was young. I didn't even know there was anything called mental health. I didn't know there was anything called mother. So me trying to understand who is this person they're calling a mother, and now knowing that she had mental health. And most times she would beat me for no reason, me and my brother for no reasons. She would scream on us for no reason. She was always fighting everybody. She was always talking to herself. She was always angry. There was so much, So whenever she's in a sober mood, I always had to be there for her. So I knew she could not, at the time in my teenage, I knew she could not work because of her mental health. I didn't understand the level because she made it seem to us that she didn't have any problems, that she just had spiritual problems. That people were just appearing to her for no reason. So at a time in my life, I was scared about people. I was scared that people would not do the same to me, But the good thing was that I came from a wealthy home, so money was available for me and I could always go help her. I was 13 and I had to always go help her, give her money. Even though I had not yet forgiven the fact that
She was away
she
for so
was
long.
away, and I didn't know her, I was still doing it. I just felt that empathy within me to take care of her. So I was taking care of my father, taking care of my mom. At the time when my granny was sick, I had to also stand in to take care of her because she raised me. And at the time, my brother also had issues. I had to stand in to take care of, he had a child also with this young lady then. And I had to breastfeed the child because
Wow.
the mother could not produce breast milk. So I had to breastfeed the baby. My brother was going through financial crisis at that time. I had to pay for all the baby stuff. And trust me, I had my 2 young children also that I had to take care of. So I think all my life, I've always been taking care of people, taking care of so many. Took care of my uncle when he died. I had to take care of his children, take care of my other uncle's children, I'm always taking care of people.
Who takes care of you?
Well, God.
Polo.
Okay, no.
Polo.
Polo is doing that now.
Polo.
I know.
Apart from the in-law money you will spend.
Well, he's doing that now.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
Trying.
Paul.
He's trying. So I think that kind of prepared me. And I think when I see children, women, men, whatever, going through a certain situation, I'm always like there to support. And I think that is what has gotten me this nickname called Ijoko.
But Emma, coming down.
I'm coming down.
Am I coming down?
You know, because sometimes in Nigeria when you for
When you calm down too much now.
You've known me for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could rate me back then, I hardly used to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot
Funny enough,
yeah.
you never used, not like you hardly used to, you never used to say anything.
Yes. And because for the longest of time, I allowed people draw the narrative that they wanted to draw about me, and it was okay. People labeled me different kinds of things. Oh, she's not married. She left her husband because of a movie. She's this, she's that. A lot. Yeah, I won't say all stories were lies. Some were true. But obviously, I'm a single mom. I would date.
You're a human being.
Yeah, I'm a human being. I would have fun. Some was true. Some were true. Some were true, but majority of it were lies. And for the longest of time, I kept quiet. And people kept. And I thought silence is golden, like you said. And I kept quiet. But I noticed that people.
Silence is not golden. In fact, in law, they say that silence means consent.
So, I mean, because I know that when I started meeting people were like, oh, Iyabo, I thought this and that. I'm like, no. But it was so hard for them to believe that it's no. And I'm like,
I know you more.
Yeah, but I'm like,
and so that is the reason why she's Ijogbon. Because I know some people are opening their ears to hear more. If you want to hear more, buy a book. We are writing a book.
We'll write a book on me, So that's just my story. But at the same time, I'm going to be coming home. No problem. I'll come. I'm trying.
Wala.
As long as Nigeria gets better, because I know that you are part of the people that said
yes, I am.
Hope.
Yes, I am.
So as long as the hope is going to be renewed.
But I assure you, it's a matter of time. Okay. See, let me tell you something. I've not been to Abuja since we got into government, but I have a feeling deep down in my soul
that it will be okay.
That it should be okay.
Okay, no problem. We are waiting on that, but you give me money for fuel when you finish this.
No, I give you tea.
All right, guys. So we have come to the end of this show. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned. Oh, a quick one. What do you have to say to the young ones who are looking up to you to become either a comedian, a TV radio presenter, a writer, an actor? Is it baker?
Is it baker?
A baker,
Rebecca. Only me, Rebecca. Okay, but honestly, what I always tell people is pick a struggle. Pick something you want to do. Be faithful to that thing. Yeah. Be faithful to your art. There'll be down days, low days. I said down. There'll be down days, there'll be low days, there'll be lower days. Be faithful to your art. Believe in God. Never look back. Yeah. Keep going. Think positively, and you will achieve greatness. All right. That's all. And please stay off drugs. Please.
That's another topic for another day.
Please.
Drugs. Okay, guys. I hope you've heard it. You've heard it from the horse's mouth, right? So at this note, we sign up and we say thank you so much for joining the show and watching. And like I always say, if you have enjoyed the show and you've learned one or two things from it, make sure you like. Don't forget to subscribe. Put on your notifications so that you can get, is it alerts, Lamak?
Like, subscribe, put on notification. Like, subscribe, put on notification.
And make sure you leave your comments. I'm definitely going to read every one of them. And for me and for my darling Edgon brother Padi and my spiritual husband,
they want husband.
we say thank you.